Hi, I'm Ashley from Sell My Comic Books, and this is a video on how to make a brick of comic books to mail to us when the comics are in bags and boards. I apologize for the quality of the video. It's a weird angle. I'm having to use my laptop because I can't hold my camera with one hand and wrap with the other hand. So bear with me here, please. So what we're going to do is we have a piece of bubble wrap on the table. It's about 4 feet long. As you can see, it kind of hangs off the end of the table. That makes it easier to put the books on the bubble wrap. You want enough space to work in. There's possibly 30 or 40 books here stacked up in bags and boards. And we just want to put them not quite in the middle, and a bit further up so that the other end is just too short to wrap around. We want it to sort of end on the top of the stack. So the first piece of bubble wrap goes around the top of the books. This is the end that all the bags are open. So I'm just squaring off the stack a little bit. We don't need to worry about it being perfectly square because that's all going to happen when you tape it. So I'm just going to gently wrap that round and just give it a little square like that with my hands. Side to side a little bit too. Try and get the books in the center of the bubble wrap sort of evenly because you're going to have wings at the side. Then we wrap around the other side. I'm just going to hold it there with my tape measure. Here's a pro tip for you if you're shipping a lot of comic books. Keep the tape leaning up against something when you put it off. So I'm going to want a piece of tape about 6 inches long. Yeah, so I leave my tape against something so it won't spring back and then I'll have to find the end, and it takes 5 minutes to pick it open again. Especially Scotch tape, which is really strong. You'll find that if you get the end stuck, it takes forever to undo it again. Okay, so I'm just going to pull this tight to try and keep the book sort of straight. See that? Tape goes around the end. One piece of tape at the end. Now I'm going to move the books gently towards the edge of the table. I don't want them to fall off, but it's great if they're on the edge of the table. You can't really see from here, but the open side is much easier to tape closed if it's at the edge, because you want to wrap it around both sides. So, take the tape again. And I use a nice big piece of tape here, like about 8 inches. In the center of your brick at the top, you fold the wing, grab the bottom of the bubble wrap, just gently slide it so it's just hanging off the table. Grab the bottom of the bubble wrap and force the tape around underneath so it catches the bottom bubble wrap. Just gently lift it and slide it under. I'm going to try and do it from the other angle so you can see this again. Now, flip it up and just tamp down the books so they're kind of square. They want to be all in roughly the same size. And if you notice, before I started, I had half the books facing one way, half of them facing the other. That's because the spines tend to slide. So you want them to be half facing one way, half facing the other. So one stack face up, one stack face down, with all the ends of the bags in the same direction. And you want to kind of close these wings up, and another piece of tape will close down this brick. So I take tape in the middle and just pull it all tight. That's it. That's your brick. It's a nice, secure brick. Now, I don't want you to tape this piece closed or this piece closed. I don't want you to wrap tape all the way around. It's just a waste of tape. But a couple of things. If you move it around from side to side and you can feel this one's slightly sloshy. It's moving about a bit too much. Might be I've got a bit too many. You don't want to have more than about 35 or 40 books with bags and boards because it starts to get too unwieldy, and like this one's not quite tight enough. So if it's not quite tight enough, what you can do is you can just put an extra piece of tape over the first. So I'm just going to see what I'm doing. I'm tamping them down so they're square. I'm taking an extra long piece of tape. I'm kind of covering the original piece of tape, and now I'm really pulling tight. You see how I'm pulling? With strong tape you can do that, it won't tear. I'm wrapping it around. I'm going to do the same at the other side. Tamping it. Long piece of tape. I'm covering the original piece of tape so that Sean, when he receives these, doesn't have to cut 20 feet of tape. And just pull it tight, 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 tight. Ah, yeah, that's way better. Now, you have a strong, solid brick, which is not going to move around too much in transit, and it won't get damaged. We're going to pack it well, and you'll see when we put it into the box that this will be perfect to protect comic books in transit. Our number one gripe at Sell My Comic Books is receiving shipments that are badly packed. And there's lots of ways to badly pack a shipment. This is kind of perfect. It's just protected enough. You don't want it to be too protected. We receive lots of shipments where people tape everything. They tape wrap it like a spider wrapping a fly in a web. It's awful. Trying to remove that tape when the books arrive, because every book is coming out of its bag and board when it arrives. We just re-bag and board everything because we need to grade everything before we sell it. So you don't want to tape the bags and boards closed. You don't want to wrap your bricks around with tape at every side. It just makes our life more difficult. And you'll see when I finish packing this, it will be securely in a box and it will get to us in one piece. I just wanted to clarify one point. When you're packing books in bags and boards into bricks to ship to us, I'm just going to show you what I meant by having half the books facing one way and half them facing the other. So I'm going to have to move the camera angle a little bit. Apologies for the weird angle, it's my laptop. I can't hold my phone with one hand and do the packing with the other. So I've got the books in the right position on the bubble wrap, facing, the spines are all here, look, the spines are all in the same place. Here's the end with the bags open. We take the second stack, this one's a really cool stack of pre-code horror, and we're going to just drop it down to make it square, and flip it, and place it facing the opposite way, so the spines are at the other end. The tops are still open here. And what this does is, if we had all the spines on one side, they're thicker on the spine end, so they will lean up like this, and the brick won't be square, and they'll be more likely to slide around because there's pressure to slide. Gravity takes them in one direction. So this just helps keep it squarer, and it helps keep it more secure in transit, and I hope that cleared it up. Here's another tip for you when you're making bricks out of comics with bags and boards. Sometimes you'll find you've put the comics in the wrong place on the bubble wrap strip, and the flap isn't going to go in the right place, and you just, what do? You start all over again? Well, there's a tip here. I'm just going to change the camera angle again. Sorry about my weird laptop camera. Okay, so here's my stack, and when I wrap the bubble wrap round and then fold it over, this is almost at the end. I don't really want it right at the end because it'd be stronger if the tape goes across the center. So I'm just going to fold that a little bit, just a little bit. Maybe 2-3 inches, so that when I do the center taping here, I'm reinforcing the weak point, which is this open end. So now I'm just going to square everything up as usual. Take a piece of tape, catch this end of the bubble wrap, pull it tight, move it to the edge. You don't want to move it so far that it falls off the table, but it's over the edge of the table. I wonder if I can show you that, because I've talked about that before. Let's see. Can you see this is the edge of the table here? Here are the books. They're kind of hanging over the edge. The reason we do that is because I want the tape to go round like this. I want it to fold tightly closed. I'm going to leave that at an angle so you can see it better. So I'm trying to cover up that flap that I created so it stays stronger. The reason I hang it off the edge of the table is so I can get the tape underneath. Let's take a little risk here. The 60-year-old horror books. Once it catches the bubble wrap underneath, I can just lift it and flap it. Then I stand it up. See, it's all open at one end, closed at the other. And then we just tamp it closed. Tamp it level, I mean. Make sure that the books are all kind of in the same stack. Another piece of tape. Cover that flap I created earlier. Now, pulling the bubble wrap really tightly here with the tape. You can do it because the tape's so strong. And it's still a little sloshy. I'm not surprised, this one is quite a big stack. Just give it one more little tamp. Another piece of tape. Cover the original piece of tape so we don't have tape everywhere. Pull it really tight. Bingo, one brick.